Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Single Player Let's Play series. So today, we have a couple of things planned. I've got some administrative actions that I've got to take, which are going to be somewhat of a pain, but not that big of a deal, I think, personally. Just an FYI, something that I've been experiencing, my cable covers have been glitching out a little bit lately, and I'm not really sure why. I don't think it is my world. I'm wondering if it may be a mod conflict or a mod update. So we'll see. We'll see. But just to show exactly what I'm talking about, if we look at covers here, you know I had the cut tough here, and you notice now it's just vanilla tough. That's because the cut tough covers do this now. And I have no explanation because cut tough does not have a connected texture, as far as I'm aware. And even if it does, I haven't updated create at all. So it worked at one point, but if you look at it, I'm pretty sure it has no connected texture. And if anything, I would imagine it might have like texture randomization, like dirt and grass do. But that's supposed to be supported as well, so I fully don't know what's going on. Stack refill, not the right stack. So for now, I've moved to tough. If you run into this, do let me know. I don't know what's going on, but I'd love to be able to report it. I haven't seen any reports on it, but I may have missed one. Anyways, I've also gotten a lot of reports about another issue in this pack, and this is going to get a little mod pack devy. It's going to get a little bit outside of the, the initial role of my Let's Play, which is to play. But I wanted to talk about an update that I had to make to the pack. I have been told by several sources, two that I definitely know and trust, and one that was just like, hey, FYI, I'm having issues with the pack with this one mod. So all in the same day, I got 3 different reports about the same thing, and that is that the mod called Pipes, not to be mistaken with Pretty Pipes. Pretty Pipes is not the issue, but the Pipes mod is causing problems. Now, if you notice, JEI shows nothing for the Pipes mod, and that's because for now, in the 3.1.13 update, I have disabled this mod, basically. You can't craft anything from it normally. You can't, at least the pipes themselves can't be crafted. You won't be able to see anything from the mod. It's basically disabled for all intents and purposes. Because of that, we are going to have to move over to a new pipe mod that's going to do the same things, except it's not going to cause significant performance issues, ideally. I get stuck on this elevator all the time. I'm wondering if I should do like a trapdoor shaft. That wouldn't take too terribly long to do. Let's see if that would help. I'm really just curious if that would even help me out here. I know this is, I know, more of me being kind of all over the place, but still. It also would look pretty cool if I did it right. So let's see if we can do it right. Do that, and then we'll have, I probably should move this guy at some point, but that's all right. And in between episodes, as promised, I did expand this room a little bit. That's why I was bouncing around over here. So you see it is now 3 blocks extra on the front and back, and then 2 on the sides. And I moved our giant multi-block crafter over a little bit, and it seems to be a lot better now. Let's see how that works. I think this looks fine. Yeah, that looks just fine. Okay. Well, I may do something like that. Let me grab some more sheet metal, and then we'll get into the premise of today's episode as well. Actually, I can do that now. So we need to go look at the mod Refined Pipes. This is made by the same developer as Refined Storage, and Refined Pipes have been given a full texture overhaul. Well, not full texture overhaul. The base texture for them is not actually that bad. It's very good, but I changed the materials required because I feel like they should have different material types, and it's really convenient to do that. And since they're named very vaguely tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, basic, improved, advanced. They're not called gold pipe, iron pipe. It was super easy to change these. So the first tier of pipe is going to be made out of copper. You can see these recipes should look kind of familiar, but I did change them up a little bit and tried to make them a little more compatible with whatever you were using. So if you were getting into this mod and you had fluid pipes from Create or fluid pipes from Immersive, it doesn't matter to me anymore, and that will get you the basic fluid pipe. Same goes for the item pipes. If you wanted to use pretty pipes, if you wanted to use conveyor belts, does not matter to me. And for the energy pipes, basically, I don't care if it's an insulated coil or not, but I do feel like coils are going to be your first way into the pack, so it should be where you should be at this point. And then All of the subsequent upgrades are made in the smithing table. Of course, you can also automate this recipe using mechanical crafting. So you can see they just require 1 nugget to go between tiers. And the top 2 tiers, tier 4 and 5, which does not exist for item pipes. Item pipes only go up to tier 3, which is using Enderium. But the fluid and energy pipes here can go to the tier 4, which is elite, and tier 5, which is ultimate tiers. And those are made out of ostrum and calorite, respectively. So these, again, just a nugget. And then, anytime you want to extract from a certain point, you can make these extractors. So unlike the pipes mod, the pipes with a Z mod, where you use the wrench to do your thing, the extractors here are how you're going to do your item movement. Speaking of wrench, I'm going to take this wrench out because we don't need it anymore. And the pipe wrench is going to be basically deprecated at this point. So to do that, I'm going to use my scroll wheel. So if you sneak scroll wheel while holding the morphing tool, you can change tools out. And I'm going to go to the pipe wrench, and while sneaking, I'm going to press Q. And that's going to throw the wrench out of my morphing tool. Now, there is a bug where the name gets a little botched here, but I don't need this, so it's just going to live in my trash can for now. But what I want to teach is auto crafting for the basic tiers, and most importantly, the extractors. These extractors are going to be a huge deal. So I think medium extraction modules should be pretty doable because we have lows already automated. And then mediums... Am I forgetting something? Hang on. Oh, it is just lows. Never mind. Disregard. If you ever do what I just did and accidentally select the wrong item, you can just shift right-click the pattern to clear the pattern. So you don't ever have to really suffer for a mistake like that, which I think is really nice. Let's go ahead and get a stack of patterns made up because we're running low. But let's go ahead and get the basic extractor attachment. And then the basic goes up to the next few tiers using create, and we'll automate this at some point. But I'm not too terribly worried about it right now. The basic extractor is plenty good enough for all intents and purposes for just basic and very, very, very basic item movement. So the attachments can extract 100 millibuckets or 400 or 32. It doesn't say anything about RF, so I'm a little curious about that. We'll see. But you can see that there are 0, 4, 8, 12, and 15 filter slots per each tier going up. And normally I would feel like that's a bad thing to lock behind going to space, but with the entangled blocks, you can actually have multiple sides to a block. So to me, it actually isn't that huge of a deal, at least in my head. So that's kind of where I stand on that. If you have any other thoughts, of course, I am always all ears on that. I'm going to move my wireless receiver just so that I can have that there. And then I'm going to do this right here. And we'll get this little elevator shaft kind of looking good. I love these connected glass trapdoors from Create. They are a godsend because this kind of stuff normally wouldn't be possible at all. Not even with like a microblocks mod could you normally do something like this. So I think that this is a fantastic thing to have. Anyways, we can probably put our receiver right here. So I will do a sneaky sneak like so. We had to break that block anyway. All good. And then put the entwine back. That makes such a lovely sound. And now we at least have an encasing around our elevator shaft here. And what I may do is put one more around the perimeter here. Ooh, that was not ideal. No, I don't really want you there. What am I doing? I can just grab scaffolding. We have the technology. We have the technology. I don't know why I'm not using it. This isn't even technology. Scaffolding is about as low-tech as it gets. Anyways, I was wanting... Come on. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. I was wanting to do this. That way it's at least a little bit better looking. Yeah, that looks good. I'm fine with that. And I like this little shaft. It looks really nice just kind of having something to more securely hold you in. Because I've been running into that issue a decent bit where I just fall out. And that is just something you'll run into, which is not a big deal. But definitely a minor annoyance at the very least. So this will hold you in, makes you feel a little safer going into it. So yeah, very nice. Anyways, I had mentioned... Oh, you're still crafting. Okay. Those furnaces are getting a little bit slow for my liking, but that's fine. I had mentioned that we're going to have to replace all of our piping out, and we are. If we look at the pipes mod, you can see that I already have a bunch of tier 2 improved energy pipes. And if you remember, the tiers upgrades actually did not support a large amount of energy transit using the old pipes mod with the Z. I'm just going to have to keep on calling it pipes. And if I call it pretty pipes, you know I'm talking about pretty pipes. I'm talking about refined pipes, I'll call it refined pipes. So hopefully I'll be as verbose and clear as possible. If I remember, I'm trying to. But these guys I've already upgraded to tier 2, and the tier 1 transmits 1,000 FE, which is already more than we have, but I'm just trying to be safe and upgrade our infrastructure ahead of time. And the tier 2 here is 4,000. So 4,000 FE per tick is pretty significant. And so I'm just going to kind of crawl over here, and I'm going to start replacing things slowly but surely. And we're going to need some more of those attachments. Some of those attachments. Let's get 10 of them. Oh, well, that's just done, because it doesn't really require anything that requires a machine to process, I guess. That makes sense. Anyways, stuff like this should no longer be necessary. Plus, this guy here was kind of being a bit of a blocker to that anyway. But we can start to pipe this up and around. This is going to turn off all of our machines, and that's not going to be the greatest thing that we could do, but it's also not the end of the world. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this rewiring done, because that is going to be truly a menace to do at times. And I will be back. Anyways, oh, by the way, you can see here, this is what it's going to look like. And if you already have an output, you don't actually need the extractor attachment, apparently. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So anyways, these are the Electrum tier, and yeah, they're pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but I do love them. And I don't think I can really, yeah, I can't even use one of these. Okay, cool. I guess that's why they don't have a RF on them, I guess? I don't know. That's not that big of a deal. I'm honestly a little bit more impressed than confused. But yeah, I'm going to go through and replace all of these. And oh, I forgot to mention, if you have energy pipes, you'll see first of all they now have, or any of the pipes in the pipes mod, you'll see now they have a tooltip that says use at your own risk, these may lag. So if you have a setup that's already working and it's not causing you issues, keep it that way. But just remember that at some point you are going to have to convert over to this system. Fortunately, you can see here, these are intercompatible. So you can do this. It doesn't look right, mind you. But this is perfectly legal. You can do this. You can see it's going to transmit energy. So if you want to do something like that, you're more than welcome to do that. That's not a problem at all. But in general, I do find that the existence of these is a little frustrating because they do cause lag. So you can convert them directly into a basic energy pipe if you'd like. And that will help save you a lot of the costs and hopefully some of the frustration as well. So anyways, I'm going to get to work and I will be back when everything is done. So I'm almost done restructuring all the wiring here. You can see we've gone a pretty long ways here, but I realized something. I realized that we could do ourselves a great big visual favor, and that would be to go through here and remove all of the hard wiring that we have on our cloches and make them into the entangled blocks. That way we can at least kind of visualize them a little more nicely. We can just leave them kind of out on their own, and you can't see the wiring that I put in because it looks really bad anyway. So maybe we should do that really quickly. I don't think that's going to take long at all. So how would we, where would we, this would be something kind of interesting to do. I say interesting because it's just kind of a tight space more than anything. Thanks to the old-fashioned water pump I still have over here. Should really get around to doing some advanced water stuff, because this is a pretty old-school system. But I think it's just kind of what we've got right now. So why don't I set up enough space here to do some of our wiring, and we could do something kind of nice looking, I think, just by doing. We've only got 4 on each side, so it would actually not be very difficult to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So if we do, let's go ahead and grab 8 of the entangled blocks. I should probably teach these to my system, but it's all right. And we'll go ahead and just toss those down here. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, considering that there are multiple parts to a cloche, so I'm just going to play with it for now. So you are fully disconnected and fully out of energy. So that is actually kind of the ideal. You can see it is rendering the whole cloche. I kind of wish I could disable the render entirely per block because I don't necessarily want them always rendering a whole block. I think that can potentially get a little bit laggy. That's just sort of my paranoia, maybe speaking. I'm not sure. So are you only wanting to connect on the east side? Okay. That is the east side, right? Oh, that is the north-facing side, actually. I mean, that's also not too bad, but I'm curious if this is going to work. Let's just do a temporary cable run over here real quick and see if it works. I mean, that looks like it's working. So that's not horrible. I will make this look a little nicer, obviously. But interesting. Interesting that it only wants to connect on that one face. It's a little bit strange. Not the worst thing, like I said, but definitely not what I would have expected. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. A little wonk. Only slightly wonk, but a little wonk nonetheless. So let's go ahead and rebind these tiles as well. So we'll do you, 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 and you. I suspect you're also going to have the same kind of strange rule about connecting on the north face, so not a problem at all. That may just be a fallback mechanic or something that's happening there. I truly cannot say. But now these entangled blocks are going to have energy connected to them, which means we can clean up all of this piping here. We will no longer need it. So I'm going to put some temporary, like, little placeholder blocks down just to keep the bees from escaping or going places that they really shouldn't be going. And I'll finish cleaning this up a little bit. I may as well do this on camera. It's not like there's a lot that I need to clean up. Let me go ahead and grab some hempcrete as well, because that's what we're using here. Yeah, I see you. I know you want to escape. Strictly not permitted, though. So that's going to clean up that part. Let's do the same here. And then let me see if I can find a decent place to sneak through. I don't want my bees escaping, but if they do, they do. And that's not really the end of the world. Nope, okay, looks like we are all good there. So let me go ahead and tear down all of this piping that is horrendously ugly, and we should now no longer need it, which is nice. If you ever run into an issue like I do where my drill is way too fast, or my jackhammer, rather, but still, you can just break a lot of these blocks with your bare hands. It does depend on the block, but I've noticed that there are some blocks that haven't registered their drops in a specific way, because 1.18 did change that up a little bit, where you have to register your blocks with a block tag, otherwise, like with a Minecraft tag, otherwise they won't be configured to require the right tool, or they won't work at all. You'll see that a lot with pretty pipes as well, which is why you'd want to use the pretty pipes wrench, of course. But I have noticed that, and that's a little bit weird, but it's all right. I think it's perfectly fine by the end of the day. But still a little bit strange nonetheless. Not a behavior that I've quite gotten used to, nor I can really explain very consistently, but I would definitely say try if you're ever curious, like if you can break something with your bare hands, just maybe try it. I don't have any better way of putting that, honestly. Another thing that we could do, now that I think of it, I'll have to kickstart my system really quickly, but it would be really nice if we could get one more entangled block so that I don't have to have this cable run coming up through here, and I could just put it right here instead. Of course, our network dies almost immediately because there's not really a lot of buffer, but that will at least save us a significant amount of space. Again, I really do feel like being able to shift-click this or something would be really nice to just disable the render. That's just me. Maybe I'm just being a little paranoid. Our performance has been fine. Again, I've noticed some of that graphical bugginess. I can confirm that it is rubidium. I can't confirm why it has randomly started happening on some of these covers. I truly don't have any idea why that happened, but I have noticed another bug with it, so if you see this issue, do know that I know it exists, but that I also have no idea how to fix it, because rubidium's performance improvements are so good that I cannot quantify getting rid of it necessarily, but I certainly am annoyed by the existence of this issue, just because of the aesthetic concerns behind it. Really, am I shy by 1 Electrum Nugget to turn all of these into tier 2? Okay, no, I've still got 20 more that I should convert over to as well. That's fine. But the other block that I'm seeing glitchiness with is this guy right here. The bottom side, only the bottom side, and only when set to input. When set to output, not a problem. All these other sides, not a problem. Just this side, just input. And I've seen it also before on the engineer's table, the circuitry table. I don't remember exactly what it's called from Immersive. I've also seen that weirdness there. They're minor artifacts, and I don't really like have any major qualms with them, but they are still unfortunate to see. And I wish I could figure out what the problem was and how I could possibly resolve that. But I am struggling to come up with any sort of resolution that works. So we'll have to see if that if there's anything that can be done about that. Anyways, so we've already gotten a lot of our cabling rewired. I think that'll be fine. It's nice that we don't have to have the connectors to export power. I think that is actually very convenient. I don't really know of any devices that produce energy that don't push that energy as well. Like, I came over here and hooked these guys up, which don't have any configuration that you can do to them at all, and they just worked. Like, you can see they are completely empty. Both here in this buffer and also here, which actually kind of concerns me. That's a lot of energy to not have buffered, but maybe it's because it's building up. The pipes themselves store a buffer, so I'm wondering if it's because it's building up the entire pipeline that I just built, which is a huge pipeline. I'm wondering if it's just stuck on trying to build up that buffer. Like, if I come down here, are these full? Yeah, so these are full, and then you can see the whole, like, the entirety of our pipeline here is a 688,000 FE buffer. Let me grab some scaffolding and we'll take a look at this. I just want to investigate out of my own curiosity more than anything to see what it is that it thinks it's doing. So I'm willing to bet that this guy is almost completely drained. I should have just looked earlier, but I didn't think about it. You are completely drained. And you over here, probably not much better. So you're full, and you're drained, and you're probably drained because I've got other things that are drained and filling up as well. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this and make sure that we're good. I think we're good, though. I really do. I think it's just doing its thing kind of on its own. That said, I think I also did some structural damage over here at some point with the factory or the industrial blocks. So let me see if I can fix that real quick. Right way. Okay, good. Just like so. We'll grab some dirt. We have plenty of it, and I really do like this wireless system. It's one that I also try to kind of push myself to do later, but I realized in this series, like, the pack is moving so quickly, like, it's designed to be, like, not a fast-paced pack at all, but it's also designed to let you move at your own pace, and this pace is pretty fast, I would say. Like, we've gotten pretty far in 30 episodes, 31 if you count this one. So, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely been a lot of progress made, and it makes the gameplay feel a little bit fresh. Every time I come on, there's, like, something new and cool that I can do, and I'm excited by that. I'm really happy with how this pack has turned out. Anyways, so getting into the actual bulk of today's content, it actually is going to continue to be energy related, yeah. But I wanted to get into better energy production. I think I mentioned this last episode, but these guys are producing about, what, 1,080 RF per tick, which is totally respectable. That is plenty for, you know, your average man. But if we came over here and took a look at our refined storage system, you will see that currently, right, I have glass in the way now. You can see if I come over, come over here. I'm currently consuming 436 of that 1080 FE just on our system here alone. So whenever we stress out our system with other tasks, and if we continue to spread out our machinery, and if we want to do things like go to space, we're going to need a lot more energy, and that's going to get very expensive very quick. So I'd like to look into getting at least one diesel generator running, because I haven't ever done diesel in a Let's Play. At least I don't think I have. I think I've only ever played with them offline. And I think the last time I made a diesel generator was like Minecraft 1.7. Unless I'm forgetting about something that I did in the 1.10 or 1.12 Let's Plays that I did way back when. Those, by the way, if you want to see how far I've come, both in recording quality and just in organization of thought, it has come a long way. I went through and watched a couple of episodes just for the nostalgia's sake of those worlds, because a couple of months ago, actually about almost a year ago at this point, GD Launcher deleted all of my instances without really like clearly telling me that's what it was going to do, and I lost all of those worlds and I lost all of that stuff. So I watched them for the nostalgia, and yeah, I think it was really fun watching those, but it was also a reminder of how much better things have gotten nowadays, and the ability to, you know, kind of look back on those and be like, yeah, wow, things have really gotten better has been outstanding. So yeah, I've been also taking a look at the tomato stuff every now and then just to make sure we're good there. But anyways, let me kind of gather my thoughts, gather the resources that we're going to need to get a diesel generator running, and let me also figure out where we're going to put it, because I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll probably extend this building over here, because it's already here anyway with our main infra, so we can expand it a little bit, maybe expand it depth-wise this way over here, because this building here can kind of, I don't care about this building too much, it can go away. We can expand this building depth-wise and put the generator at the same level up here, and then put all the production stuff underground if we wanted to, because that's realistically doing seed pressing and stuff underground is not unreasonable to do in real life, but you most certainly would not have a diesel engine or diesel generator underground without the proper ventilation, and quote-unquote ventilation, or making something that looks like ventilation in Minecraft, even with literal vent blocks, is a little bit difficult. So let me kind of figure that part out as well. Pretty interesting ideas. At least I think they're interesting. I think they're a little bit unique compared to what I normally do here. So I'm really excited to get into them. Let's get into the compact machines mod. I think that's one that we haven't really touched in a minute and would be really helpful to get into at this stage in the game. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a temp pad, because we're going to need to combine that with a compact machines wall in order to get that crafted. So let's go ahead and grab our lead sheet metal. I think I already have some crafting, but we can triple check on that. Yeah, that's fine. So there's some sheet metal. We're also going to need some ender pearls. Oh, we are low on ender pearls. Goodness me, we are going to have to make a trip to the end. But if I combine our compact machine wall with a temp pad, we will be able to get a personal shrinking device. And that is stage 1, and it's also its own manual to explain how the mod works. So you can see compact machines are the core mechanic of this mod. They allow you to build large rooms in a single block space connected to the outside world. They come in various sizes, from 3x3x3 to 13x13x13. You can use tunnels to connect the outside block with any of the inside walls. And then you can enter compact machine by right-clicking with this device that I'm holding in my hand to enter the machine. Now, the recipes are pretty tough in this pack, and that's for a reason, but you can see we're going to need a lot of ender pearls. We're going to need this material called flux dust, and this is a new one that we haven't gotten into yet. We're going to need some vacuum pumps. I think most of this we can probably auto-craft at this stage. So let me see if I can get some of these recipes set up, go to the end and get some of that stuff taken care of as well. But the biggest thing that I think we're going to want to teach our setup is how to do automatic compressing. So let's grab a crafter, because we do already have a refined storage line, so we could really easily do this. And let's grab another chest. We already have an extra dimensional chest. Perfect. And I don't know why I went to the quest line. I wanted to look at this guy. These recipes, yep, that's all pretty straightforward. Straightforward. That's another one we can teach. And let's go ahead and rename this crafter just really quickly. Do... what is this called again? Pressure chamber. We'll do that. Let's see. So from here we go to these 3 different things. That's fine. So to make the vacuum pump, which we're going to need more of later, I think we've got everything else there handled. So yeah, let me quickly do this part on camera, because I think this will be fun. One of the things I love about refined storage is just how flexible it is. So this means that we can go through, and we've already got a grid right here, right? So what we can do, if we wanted to, which I do, that's me, the one with the wants, is replace this guy here with a dimensional chest. Make sure that that is set to private. And then this guy here is going to be the input, so it's going to be called pressure chamber. And now all we have to do... Okay, that just temporarily turned on. Got it. Is hook this up. And so now the pressure chamber recipes will be live. And if I wanted to request compressed iron, because we don't have a lot, I can ask for a stack of it. And it's going to go ahead and craft that by inserting the items into our chest here. And then pumping them right through there. So yeah, something like this is super easy to do, and I love how easy it is, and how just discreet it is to get stuff like this done. It makes me so very happy to see systems like this work so well. I think we might need a better extractor module on here. What is this tier? This is... Oh, I see what's happening. It's putting one at a time in for these crafts. So we should see ourselves pop up to 72. There we go. Easy as that. So yeah, I think at this stage, we're just going to need to go ahead and automate a couple more things. But as you can see, I'm completely out of ender pearls. So I'm going to use my tempad to head off to the end portal. And I'll see you guys in a few. I've got some preparation that I'm trying to plan out here. And I think we can optimize our setup here just a little bit. That way I also don't have to constantly worry about my magnet. So we're going to take down our power system for a little bit. I don't think that's going to be a major problem, though. And we're going to want to grab some pipes before we do, because I don't want to run into any issues that I don't want or necessarily expect. So we're going to try to avoid that. Let's go ahead and get a tier 3 extraction module, or high extraction module. And I'm going to break this belt. And we're going to start getting completely barraged by a bunch of coal, charcoal specifically. But that's okay, because we're just going to have to break this line as we go. And I'll go through and fill all this stuff back in, not to worry. But what I think we can do here is really simplify and clean up our setup. Like, really clean it up. I don't think we're going to need this at all anymore. Let's go ahead and grab some stone. Fortunately, with how much buffer we have in our pipe networks and stuff, our network might actually be okay for this entire time. And if it's not, we don't currently have anything mission critical that's going to cause any problems if it goes down for a bit. But what we're going to do, we've got our chutes, right? And I don't remember for sure how these are going to work out. So we may need a retrieval module. I think that might be a little easier, actually. And we're going to finally replace this system because it's a little bit antiquated. I've been using Create's tubes a lot. And you know, there's nothing wrong with them at all, but they are definitely not the most performant, and they definitely aren't, like, you know, the most highly optimized. They're pretty dang good. I don't see any reason not to use them, but if I can reduce animations, then I will. And I wanted to try a new system, one that I haven't done before, and that is the Ender Drawer system. So Ender Drawers are sort of like dimensional storage in the sense that they are linked storage inventories that don't seem, as far as I can tell, to have any range on them. So you can just link them as far as you'd like. I think I am going to put that back where it was. We're going to have a lot of cleanup to do once this is done, but that's a me problem for off-camera me. So not anything y'all will really have to worry about too much. But what I'm thinking is we can use ender drawers to store a buffer of charcoal. And this right now probably seems like it's completely out of left field. What the heck does charcoal have to do with anything? Well, I want to set up some form of energy wherever we end up putting our compact machine, and that energy is going to need to be rotational. And so the easiest way that I can think of to move rotational energy around is to set up a tiny boiler, a small boiler, small guy. It looks like, yeah, you're finally out of charcoal. No surprises there. I think I have a bit that I can share with you in the meantime. Oh, you're out of rotational energy. That will be its own problem as well, yeah. Okay, we'll have to sort that piece out slightly, but not a big deal. And so fundamentally, we're going to be a little bit strained trying to get charcoal in a tiny machine. So we're going to have to figure that piece out, and I think this will do it. So we have our pipes here. We have an ender drawer. The ender drawer, when placed, is going to generate a random frequency, and we can copy that random frequency using the linking tool. So if I left click, it will copy the frequency to my tool. And you can see the frequency is, it looks like a slime egg, a diamond hoe, like it's just 5 random items that are all Minecraft vanilla items, just copied as a frequency. And with 5 of them, there's a ton of possibilities that you can create, a ton of different channels you could do. And I'm going to put a void upgrade in here. Where did that go? I'm confused why that went away, but it's showing it here. I'm a little whatever. Okay. Now I'm going to put a retrieval module on here, and this retrieval module will be configured to pull in charcoal down into our ender drawer. And that's going to cause a bunch of charcoal to come sit in this ender drawer. So, again, not sure where things are going here, but okay. And so now what we can do is we can link up with this frequency anywhere we want. So what I'm going to do is right here, we're going to remove the brass funnel. We don't need it anymore. And in fact, I'm going to grab another industrial block. I've already got some. We're going to use industrial blocks here. We can start to cover this up now. There we go. Because now what we can do is we can just put our ender drawer here. Remember, we copied the frequency earlier. If we right click, we can paste it. And now look what I have there. It's my charcoal and the void upgrade. The void upgrade is rendering, so I have to assume it's working. If it's not, that's actually not going to cause us any problems, so that's okay. We're going to put our one pipe down with the extraction module, and it's going to extract down. And you should start to fill up now. So if I removed this one buffer here, it's just going to refill it with another charcoal. So now our depot here is going to be full all the time. And we're going to be able to repeat the same process kind of across the board. So like I said, I've got some cleanup work to do. I'm going to go ahead and get all this hempcrete out of here. Going to get the building gadget put to work. But this is going to clean up our setup extraordinarily so. And I think that's going to be a really big help. So as much as I wanted to get into the biofuel stuff today, I think that may be a multi-part episode problem because it's really going to be extraordinarily complicated of a system to do. So let me get this cleaned up. In fact, y'all can join me for this one because I do a lot of stuff off camera and, well, I think it's important to do some stuff on camera, personally. So this will be a really easy cleanup thanks to the building gadget. So we can just do this and this. Go ahead and put some of these extras away. We can build this out here. And then fill these little spots in. I don't need the front of that drawer to be visible to know that it's doing its thing, so we'll just cover it up. Maybe render culling will come in handy there as well and help us out. And so now we're going to run into a different issue, and that's the fact that our little mechanical arm down there does not know how to power itself anymore. And that's a genuinely good issue to have to sort out, like a genuinely, important thing to fix. So let's fix that as well really quickly. What we can do is I can manually power up my blaze burners, and then I can, interesting. What has happened? Oh, have you stopped pumping water? You've stopped pumping water in. Okay, so we'll have to fix that as well. So we need 2 places for rotational energy to come in. I gotcha. Not a problem. So we're going to basically need a system that looks like this, except we can replace this with one large cogwheel for the corners, and then do that, like so. And now we just need to get our rotational energy from over here to here, which is probably simple. I think it should be pretty simple. We could also move this to here if we wanted to. That would probably make things even easier on us. And then if we grabbed ourselves... Oh, I already have one. Perfect. I don't know if this is going to be the right direction. We'll have to figure that part out. And then from create, we are going to need a hand crank. Well, that's a little bit... Okay, I know what we can do. We can do this, For now, I will disconnect that. And then we can do this. Will that work? Well, that certainly won't. I wonder what it's overstressed by. Well, that's fine. Alright, so now it's just going to be burning real slow. Until I do that again, which we knew would happen. There we go. Now we should be running back at full speed again. Certainly sounds like we are. And so now we can turn this back on. Oh, why are you overstressed? Oh, well, great. Now you're out of water again. Love to see that. Lovely. We may have to come up with a different power system to power these, which is not quite the end of the world. Annoying, but not too terrible. Let's just go ahead and do this again, I suppose. I can also make this transparent so that we can at least see the water going through. This may need its own system, though. Looking at this, that might be helpful. Are we producing the same amount as before? We are. Okay, odd. Alright, 6 water wheels later, and everything here is going to run independently of our existing system for... goodness, for the boiler. So that's one of those things that I've always preferred. I've seen a lot of people try to bounce off of their boiler, and that always concerns me whenever I see that. And so, yeah, I do generally prefer it when things are kind of independently set up. It looks like our system finally ran out of a energy buffer, and then just in time my my system came back up. I got everything put together and back up and running here. So it looks like the timing could not have been any more perfect there. But I do think I'm going to have to call this an episode because we have already had to do quite a bit of preparatory work in this episode to get everything running. Again, a lot of the performance over here should be a little bit better now that we're not running everything together on like back and forth. So I think that will help. But now, if you'll recall, we're going to have yet another ender drawer with our charcoal in it, and that's just going to keep filling up like usual. We've already seen that happen quite a bit thanks to this setup. So we should be able to capture one more blaze and get one more blaze burner running. Why are you acting weird now? It's not water, it's heat? Do you have junk in here? What's happened? What's happened? Oh, I forgot to hook you up. There we go. Duh, my bad. This system is a little bit complicated, but, you know, when it works, so that is nice. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know this one was a little bit of a do-nothing episode, mostly maintenance and cleanup, but these are all things that will eventually kind of help us out, and like I said, one of them will immediately help us out in the next episode when we get our compact machine together, because the more compact we can make our machine, the cheaper it will be to craft. Because I was looking at this one, I wanted to do something in like an 11 by 11 space, but that's going to take 49 crafters, and I don't have room for 49 crafters over here. That would be a 7 by 7, nor do I have enough rotational energy here to do that with. So to be lazy and also to kind of make things interesting, I'm going to try to keep my compact machine compact. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.